don't cover things from the past, like events that occurred in the past and things like that. I kind of try to stay with stuff that's being done now so you can see it for yourself instead of going back. Because, I mean, yeah, you can go through bands and all these people from history, but I wanted to cover Queen for two reasons. One, somebody actually sent me something, a message, and told me to go take a look at it. I thought it was pretty funny, and then I just did a little bit of a deep dive on Queen, the band Queen. And obviously because the movie Queen is nominated, or what's it called, Bohemian Rhapsody about Queen, Freddie Mercury, is nominated for an Academy Award. And you've seen all this worship of the band this year, and people covering their music and paying tribute to the band. And I wanted to show you the connections again, the same stuff, the same symbols, occult symbolism, seeing eye, the lightning, Freemasonry, it's all there. And it just goes to show you, I've talked about the Beatles before. If you haven't seen that video, it's one of my older videos. People get super offended by this stuff because they take these people to heart. There's a lot of, kids who are teens who listen to the channel, they get upset in the beginning about talking about Ariana Grande and all these people. Then there's older people who, they look at them and they go, oh, they worship these people, my day, these people we listen to, but it's no different. We've all been put under it. Listen, I grew up, listening to Journey and bands like that. I mean, it's all the same crap. You can find all the same symbolism in all their music. None of these people at one time, it wasn't, they were so much cleaner, and, maybe they were less corrupt in their lyrics and in their performances than they are now. But obviously over time, these performances pretty much turned into pornographies, right? When we see like Cardi B and these people on stage. So I want to talk about Freddie Mercury, Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody, the movie. And one of the reasons one of the things I want to tell you before we get into all the symbolism, which is pretty funny stuff because it's so ridiculous, is you have to remember about all of these people, they love more than anything to be idolized. There's a reason that they make these movies and then all the celebrities come out and idolize these people. It's part of the fraternity. It's part of the brotherhood. It's like you see these people who have paintings done of themselves. Like, who would get a painting done of themselves? Like, if you're up one day and just walk around and be like, I'd like a painting of me on the wall. This is part of their legacy, right? This is why they love to have sculptures and statues made of themselves. This is why the Egyptians did this stuff. These people think that they're gods on earth, and they should be immortalized through paintings and sculptures and all that crap. This is what Masons have been doing and continue to do. And movies and stuff like that are just another way of them trying to immortalize them and then bring them on to newer generations to pass the poison along. Okay? One of the other things you'll see is the poster for Bohemian Rhapsody. You'll see that it's Freddie Mercury, with one eye, right? They deliberately cut half of his face off for the one eye symbolism. This is a common thing they always do with movie posters. Nobody ever notices the repetition with it. They did it with Star Wars, I remember recently. Somebody pointed it out and sent it to me. I did a video on it a couple years ago. All the characters with just one eye symbolism. They do it all the time. And of course, Freddie Mercury has the, he has a memorial for him, right, in the ground. And of course, it's a pentagram because, represents stars, right? Wink, wink. A pentagram inside of a pentagram. Inside of a ritual circle, right? So that must be a huge coincidence there as well, right? And I think not. So a minute into this movie, not even, and I haven't seen the movie, but I just saw this clip. You could see a roadie is pushing a guitar for Freddie Mercury, and right on his finger he's wearing the Freemason Masonic ring, right? You can see it right there, clear as day. These types of things are not a coincidence. Okay, all the clothes and stuff that they wear in these movies are put on these people. They deliberately, like, a guy didn't just show up and they were like, you're going to be an extra and you're going to push this box and we're just going to film your hands as you walk by. The common person thinks that because they don't think anything of anything, right? But of course, they're looking at this guy's hand, and they probably had to model his hands to even get the role. And then they're saying, okay, well, what rings should you have on your hands to make you look like a roadie? What kind of a ring would a roadie wear? Blah, blah, blah. And of course, they slip in the Masonic ring right there, which is just absolutely hilarious. And I've heard people say, well, where's the proof and stuff that Freddie Mercury's in, the New World Order or any of this stuff, and the Illuminati and blah, blah, blah. And if you follow this channel, you follow the repetition, you'll see the same things over and over. And let's just start with the funniest one, because apparently Freddie Mercury also, before he became big with Queen, he wanted to be an optometrist too, like Katy Perry, like everybody else out there, right? As you can see, he's wearing this ridiculous getup of eyeballs, right? So when things didn't pan out for Freddie at optometry school, he decided that he was just going to be a millionaire and be a lead singer of a band. That was his second option, right? I mean, look at the outfit on him, really. Like, if somebody came up to you and they were like, all right, here's an outfit we're thinking about putting on. Like, what did you just say? There's no way I'm wearing this ridiculous getup. But people don't think like that. They just go, oh, come on, it's just a show. I mean, look at it. He's got, like, probably his 33 eyeballs on the whole costume. If there was a full photo of both sides, you'd probably see it. But look at all the eyeballs on his outfit. Well, that must be a coincidence, too, right? We're supposed to believe it's coincidence. He's also, then, on top of that, he's a huge fan of lightning and thunderstorms. Isn't that crazy? He's, like, with some Post Malone and Lady Gaga, Marilyn Manson, David Bowie. They're all just like, I mean, it must just be a common hobby of musicians. Kiss, AC/DC, to love lightning, right? It's their favorite storm. They don't like blizzards. They don't like snow, okay? They don't like rain, per se. They like lightning. Now, for those of you saying, I don't get it, what does it mean? Well, it's biblical. That's what it is. And that's why they do it. Luke chapter 10, verse 18. So he said to them, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. And that's what they're referencing. That's why these people are always wearing lightning bolts. The all-seeing eye represents the all-seeing and knowledgeable eye of Lucifer. That's why you always see these eyeballs everywhere, because they're not fans of the eyeball. It's because of that. So Freddie Mercury, of course. Then you have, Freddie Mercury, who I guess he was notoriously known for wearing a serpent ring. So I guess he also happens to like snakes, right? Obviously the serpent, we all know what a serpent represents. You can see the serpent ring that was being sold that's, surrounding Freddie Mercury, has his name on it. You can see him wearing the checkered Masonic clothing as well, which, shouldn't shock anybody, right? That he's got the Masonic black and white clothes, but people still think it's just a huge coincidence, right? Just like how the ring was in the movie, it was just a huge coincidence. And one of the most famous things depicted by Queen is I believe it was the album cover for Bohemian Rhapsody, but it's that picture where it's the four of them, and he has his arms crossed and an X over his chest. I've talked many times, the X represents the Antichrist, the transformation. Okay? That's why these people always use this X symbol, right? You see it in ancient Egypt. You see these celebrities doing it. You see it in music videos. You see athletes doing it. Okay? It's the transformation and the acceptance of Antichrist. That's what it represents. And it's used in Freemasonry. It's used in the music industry. It's used all over the place. And people just see it and they roll their eyes and they think, no, it's not a big deal at all, right? It's, it's just normal, right? There's a video, Queen, It's a Hard Life, where pretty much the entire video, it looks like it's filmed in a Masonic lodge. You've got the pillars, you've got the Masonic floor, and you've got, a lot of, looks like MK Ultra programming, like one of these Rothschild parties, Rothschild balls, and you got this guy holding up the skull, like the skull and bones. His name is Brian May. You may have heard of him recently because he's been getting a ton of publicity for the movie that came out. And he's, his involvement with the movie and stuff, and Hollywood is rubbing shoulders with him again. There's a lot of people that believe that this guy was actually Freddie Mercury's handler, which wouldn't surprise me. Obviously, I can't prove that. I can only show you the signs and the symbols that surround these people. There's obviously some creepy photos of him with, dressed as a ghoul and things like that. But there's also a picture of this guy wearing a shirt, and you can see that it's opened up and it says 666 on it. Now, I can't see what the rest of the shirt says. Somebody might argue and say, well, it definitely says 16661, or, people are going to be always skeptical, but I'm just showing you, there's a shirt too, if you actually look this guy up, with the 666 on it. Is that a coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences. Never have, never will. So, again, I just wanted to show everybody out there this, because it doesn't matter what time period you were born in, right? It doesn't matter what music you listen to. Music is here to brainwash people, to influence people. They bring these people in for you to waste your energy, your time, and to idolize these people. Meanwhile, they're using backmasking techniques to brainwash you, and they're using idol worship to brainwash you. And that's why they try to keep the legacy of these people alive, right? Oh, let's glorify Freddie Mercury and the band Queen and have a movie about him, and let's show the Masonic ring in there. Ha ha ha. right? Like it's a huge coincidence. That's Freddie Mercury, is wearing eyeballs all over his body. He's got a video where he's walking down the huge staircase, the staircase you see in Freemasonry, as you rise into Freemasonry. I mean, it's insane how all of these people, 80s, 70s, you name the generation, that they have connections, they have ties. They're probably, just like the Beatles and Tavistock, Institute were created to brainwash the masses, so are people like this. So same with Gaga, same with Lady Vomit Bag, all of them. Well, I guess they're the same person, but you know what I'm saying. Katy Perry, the list goes on and on of all of these people. This music has been used as a tool for mind control for a long period of time, not just through lyrics, through spell casting and backmasking. So this is Queen. This is the reason that you see them all over the place now. It's not because suddenly, I mean, this is just what they do. They pay homage to each other. They constantly are kissing each other's rear ends. That's why they have all these award ceremonies. And they do what they can to immortalize one another. It's part of being in the fraternity and the brotherhood. That's exactly what this is. So even if Freddie Mercury isn't here to get the notoriety, even though some people don't even think Freddie Mercury is dead because nobody knows where his body's buried. That's another story for another day. And either way, I don't care. It doesn't affect my life. But, glorifying the other members of the band. And obviously, people start looking into their music and listening to it, and and then they're getting indoctrinated with the same signs and symbols, the same stuff that people use today. Nobody does anything different. They just keep showing eyeballs over and over, pyramids, and lightning bolts. Everybody's a fan of thunderstorm watchers and wants to be eye doctors. I mean, I can't imagine the optometry schools must be filling up right now with celebrities who are trying to become eye doctors. It's ridiculous. And thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your family.